from writer-director Rian Johnson.
The Holy Grail. A perfectly impossible crime.
Wake Up Dead Man has critics singing its praises.
God help me. Anything else?
It's a deliciously entertaining mystery.
That's nice.
It's certified fresh.
It's a miracle!
Okay, you're freaking me out now.
It's the best Knives Out movie yet.
This case is solvable, right?
Oh, you'll see. It's fun.
Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery starring Daniel Craig. Now playing in select theaters on Netflix December 12th, rated PG-13.
And now a message from McAfee.
Your package couldn't be delivered.
You owe thousands in unpaid tolls!
You want a free gift?
If texts like these sound familiar, McAfee can help. McAfee automatically identifies text and email scams as well as AI-generated audio to help you stay safe. If they're faking it, they're not making it past us. Get award-winning scam detection today. McAfee.com/keepitreal.
Sunday morning. Well, this is Dr. Peter Michalos. And live long and prosper. Well, we're using that. Well, Dr. Peter Michalos, Sunday morning, a time to reflect on life. So what are you going to tell us about today? How do we live longer?
Well, today we're going to talk about a very interesting topic that a lot of us experience and a lot of us notice in our lives, but we don't realize that it actually causes damage, and that's our belly fat. And it's also called visceral fat. And it's different kind of fat that's like right underneath our skin. This is the fat that's deep, that's wrapped around our intestines and our heart. And another place that we actually have fat, believe it or not, is the back of our tongue. And that's why when we gain weight and the fat behind our tongue gets thicker, we actually end up with more sleep apnea. And that's why when people lose weight and the fat behind their tongue actually shrinks down a bit, you get less sleep apnea. And it turns out, how come we have a lot of people who are thin, their limbs, their legs, their hands might be thin, but their bellies become heavy. And it turns out that from the time that we introduced in the American diet industrial seed oils, and that's all these vegetable oils that they told us were much better, like canola oil, corn oil, cottonseed oil, grapeseed oil, rice bran oil, safflower oil, soybean oil, and sunflower oil. Turns out that these chemicals have something called omega-6, which is a bad fat, which does damage to our organs, hearts, and inflammations, and that's something called linoleic acid. And that inflammation, turns out, screws up and interferes with our ability to process sugar and create something called insulin resistance, so we can't properly utilize that extra energy, and guess where it goes? It all starts accumulating in our abdomen and around our heart and our intestines.
And that squeezes the other organs.
It does squeeze the other organs, and it also generates inflammation, which has been shown to interfere with the ability to repair cells and to fight off cancer cells. And inflammation is like throwing gasoline into a fireplace. And once we have inflammation, we develop a lot more medical problems, and we know about all the autoimmune diseases that are aggravated. But again, as we've talked about many times, there are good oils that we should be using, and those are extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, and even coconut oil. And even it's been shown, there was a lot of myths about all these different butters and the margarines, and they all have the fake oils in them. But if you eat regular, real butter that's from grass-fed cows, because those cows actually grass and not corn, they have omega-3, and actually that's not so bad for us. So having real butter that's from grass-fed cows is okay. Now, other things that we can do are to slow down this belly fat or visceral fat is when we sleep, we should try to sleep at around 68 degrees where it's cooler, because we have something called brown fat, and when it senses the lower temperature, it turns on the furnace and says, oh, the body is cold, we need to heat it up. So it's basically a way to activate your boiler and burn some fat while we sleep. We burn visceral fat when we sleep in a cooler room. It's not good to sleep in a hot room. Also, eating things like green tea and green tea matcha, which has become popular, and even when you go to a Japanese restaurant, that nice black tea they serve, the oolong tea, all those also activate the mechanisms to burn fat. certain vegetables like cauliflower.
So what kind of tea should you have at night if you want to sleep and burn fat?
Well, you don't. That doesn't work that way because the ones that burn fat wake you up, and those are the teas you want to have only for breakfast and lunch. At
So
night,
which one should you have for breakfast and lunch?
Green tea matcha, green tea, or Japanese oolong tea. Those are the ones that will activate and help burn fat. And the vegetables you even eat activate and burn fat, like broccoli helps burning fat, cauliflower, and the spice called curcumin, which is found in a variety of food, and many people use it for anti-inflammation. And the fish are the salmon is excellent. They did a study in Iceland.
But it has to be salmon from the wild salmon. The farm-raised salmon is actually extremely bad for you.
Yeah, because it's fed corn, which salmon and seafood doesn't naturally eat corn, which has omega-6. Again, you need things with omega-3. And they gave salmon in Iceland to people 3 times a week for 8 weeks, and they lost 10 to 15 pounds. So they showed that fish like salmon and even white cod, halibut, mackerel, oysters, and Gulf shrimp actually also had those benefits. So if you try to eat those at least 3 times a week, it helps you with controlling visceral fat. And the side effect also of eating all these things we just discussed is it also lowers blood sugar, helps with insulin resistance, and helps, control your blood pressure.
Peter, this is Thanksgiving weekend. We all ate a lot on Thursday. We ate a lot all weekend. But by today's Sunday, I guess we better start losing it.
Yeah, well, I think also the time where we showed also that during the fast, it's basically your body starts burning the reserves. So if you're going to eat on Thanksgiving, try to skip breakfast and have a very, very light lunch before your Thanksgiving dinner. And on Thanksgiving, if it's your one meal and then you go on and fast for 16 hours, that helps to offset the cholesterol bullets, I call them, that we're going to all get on Thanksgiving. And, of course, moderation is very important. And even with a little turkey, I still put a little olive oil on it, which helps.
Understood. Now, Peter, we're almost out of time, but I want you to think about one thing. Worldwide, the rate of the Western countries, and I'm not sure if it's Eastern countries too, of having reproductive and children is way down. And there's got to be an answer to why. Is it the food they're giving us? Is it the vaccines they're giving us? But somebody has to figure out why reproductive rates. Even the viral Italians who are, they believe themselves to be men's men. They're down to 1.1 reproduction.
Well, we found that a lot of the microplastics affect hormone metabolism. All these skin lotions that we use, some of them are hormone disruptors that we rub in, even certain sunscreens and hand creams and moisturizing lotions affect us as well. The water supply and how it affects our gut microbiome. And these are all factors contributing to hormones, because when our hormones are turned upside down, that affects our reproduction. And then there's also some...
I'm going to discuss it with Secretary Kennedy, because he has to get on top of this, because if we keep going, if all the Western countries go down to 1.1, and other countries that might be eating different foods than we are, they'll have 14 kids. Sooner or later, we lose.
Absolutely, and also a lot of women in the Western world are doing careers and waiting much later in life, and so their birth rate decreases. That also affects things, and also smoking affects men's sperm and drops lower sperm counts in those countries that you mentioned. Also, they smoke a lot. In Italy, the men smoke quite a bit.
Well, we're out of time, but thank you, and I hope you had a great Thanksgiving, and live long and prosper, and we'll talk again real soon.
Thanks for always getting the truth out on the Cats Roundtable.